Now, I'm not gonna lie. Um, it's definitely seeming like today the black man is definitely become public enemy number one. And I think that this entire case and what's going on with Megan and Tory Lanez is a perfect example of this. And I'm gonna show you how black man is enemy number one, even to the black woman. Let's roll the film real quick on what's been going on. Check this out.
We are on a 15-minute break. Got to get back into the courtroom very quickly. I sat at 12 o'clock directly in Kelsey's line of vision. I watched her testify. I watched her deny that Tory threatened to shoot her. I watched her confess that she lied to the police when she said that. The reason why she was lying to the police, the investigators, is because she wanted to protect herself.
Uh-oh.
OMG. The rest
Uh-oh.
of the testimony that we just saw in the after lunch session was a prosecutor holding on for dear life to a recording between her, a police investigator, and another.
Y'all heard what he just said, right? Let's bring it back a little. Hold on.
After lunch session was a prosecutor holding on for dear life to a recording between her, a police investigator, and another LA County prosecutor, and Kelsey, and just replaying that recording and saying, Kelsey, didn't you say this? And Kelsey saying, I did. Kelsey, is that true? And Kelsey saying, no, I lied. Did the LA County prosecutors give
She
Kelsey
lied.
immunity? I think so. They did, didn't they? That's what I reported this morning. That's what I saw in this courtroom. Does Kelsey sound like a believable witness? No. Is Tory Lanez accusing her of being the shooter? Yes. I'll tell you something. That
Tory Lanez is accusing her of being the shooter. This is what we have speculated the entire time, that Kelsey was responsible for shooting Meg. Let's continue.
jury, most of them, it looked like they had their mind made up. I don't know which way, but they saw
Told y'all.
that person say that I lied about all that to protect myself. They're going to hear that there was gunshot residue on her.
What I call it.
There you
What
go.
All right, all right. So now I find this entire ordeal extremely interesting because once you start to piece together everything that's come out in the actual court cases, Meg is lied completely about her relationship with Tory, thus trying to essentially cover up the nature of what the shooting was about. Because without explaining the relationship and how you guys got into the situation you got into, you don't give any frame for the motive or the proper perspective of why this happened. So first, we find out Meg's lying. Boom. Then we knew that there was gun residue on her hands the entire time. So now, boom, one of the witnesses, Ben, said that they saw the flash come from her. Then the gun residue was on her, and now she's admitting that she lied to protect herself, and now she has immunity. So Kelsey finessed the whole system. She was able to get complete immunity for shooting this chick. And the crazy thing is, the entire time, she stood there and blamed Tory Lanez and said black men are attacking black women. It's violence against black women. Every time a black man tried to stand up for Tory and say that, something doesn't seem right, he was met with comments saying, oh, y'all don't protect black women, that y'all are perpetuating the violence against black women, when the violence against black women was perpetuated by another black woman. So when are we going to start talking about that? And the worst part of all of this is that Kelsey is going to walk away scot free. Megan, nothing's going to happen to her for lying. Both of these women lied and will walk away scot free with no charges because they were messy. And Tory had to pay for all of this. Tory's paying for lawyers. This guy's probably spent more than $500,000, probably $1 million on lawyers at this point. So the man probably spent $1 million on lawyers, all for something that he didn't do, or all for a cat fight between two girls. And the whole time, Megan kept saying, "Oh, Tory's trying to paint a narrative that it was a cat fight between two girls." That was the narrative that he was supposedly trying to paint. But it seems as though this is the narrative that's the reality. That's what the evidence suggests. They found like jewelry and nails and hair at another location from them fighting. You know, there's witnesses from the party saying that they were fighting. Like this is literally embarrassing. This is a sham. Like dudes, not just Tory Lanez, because this is something that men dealt with. Men got dragged through the mud for trying to stand up for Tory. And look at it. It wasn't his fault at all. It was two girls fighting over a dude. And the irony behind that is Megan's entire career, her entire brand is based off of her being some type of pimp and how she don't fight over dudes and niggas trick on her and how she not sweating no dude or whatever and you know the hotties and she's down for her bitches and all that and at the same time she's smashing all the dudes that her friend is smashing, which is slimy, 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 slimy. Then on top of that, her friend and her fighting over a dude, scrapping to the point where her friend popped her ass. And I mean, it read like a book to me. It was obvious. It's like, come on, like they stopped following each other after the situation. Why would your friend stop following you after they witnessed a man shoot you for no reason? That literally makes zero sense in the world. And anybody who believed her at this point, I feel like y'all are the people that just literally are what's wrong with the world. Like people like y'all have literally no deductive reasoning skills. I feel like y'all shouldn't be allowed to vote. Like I'm obviously you should be allowed to vote, but on some serious stuff, like really look yourself in the mirror and like think about how wrong you were and how much of a miss you've made. It's like you were way off. You were entirely off. And it's like you guys dragged this dude's name through the mud. You dragged the image of black men through the mud. You dragged the names and identities of other black men through the mud. Anybody who tried to defend a black man, which essentially was the right thing for them to do because they were wrong. I mean, because they were right about this situation, so it was the right thing to do to stand up for good for what's right. And you know, a lot of y'all were standing up for what's wrong, and y'all really need to humble yourselves. And a lot of y'all owe some people some apologies because I definitely saw some vicious comments. Some of y'all need to start getting opening up your cameras. You know, y'all be making them get on your camera and be like, "Damn, I was wrong. I messed up. If I said something crazy to you, I apologize because y'all said some crazy things, standing up for this girl who's trash, who's trash. You know what I'm saying? Like music trash, business practices clearly trash. You know what I'm saying? Message trash, clearly a liar, clearly not even a good friend. I mean, at the end of the day, anybody who's supporting her at this point, it's like the only reason you supporting her is like there's I can't even understand how anybody could justify supporting her at this point because it's like it's not the music. We all know it's not the music. Like let's be real. Um, is it that she's so beautiful? I mean, it's not the looks. That's for sure. I mean, it might be the body. I mean, she does got the yams and the coconuts and all that. She got that. So, okay, but besides that, I mean, I don't know, and this is not to disrespect her because I'm not trying to take it there, like, but at the end of the day, it's like this. She's being a terrible example for people in general, for men and women. Like this is not somebody who's a good example or should be a role model to be having their creations exposed to kids. Like this is a bad example right here. And it's like this is another example of the black man being public enemy number one and being dragged through the mud. I, I'm under the belief that, when I could be wrong, but I'm under the belief that they've been known the whole time. Like maybe Megan didn't know that Tori didn't shoot her, and she believed Kelsey, and Kelsey told her that Tori shot her, and because she was drunk, she probably didn't believe it. But come on, y'all fought. You don't remember fighting? You don't remember that? Like, come on, shorty. Like, you don't remember leaving the party? You was that drunk? Nah, shorty. Like, more happened than that, and I feel like she knew, but for her, it was convenient. It was convenient to throw a black man under the bus because she knew none of y'all would care, none of y'all would take his side, and and so she was. It was cool to try to ruin his career and ruin everything he stands for, and then on top of that, you know, she's protecting someone who shot her, which is another woman, and then she's playing the black woman card, the nobody protects us card, and all of that, and literally dancing in your face the next day. First off, she barely got shot, but that maybe I don't want to take it there because I know y'all gonna be sensitive about that. But let's be real, like we saw the picture of her foot. You know, it looked like she stepped on glass. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she probably told the police she stepped on glass because she was like, "Man, I don't want them to know me and Kelsey was fighting and da 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 da, and that my friend shot me and da da da. I don't know how to feel right now." Da 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 da. And then she probably got in the room with some people. Some people started talking to her, and they was like, "Really? Did Tori? Did Kelsey shoot you? You sure it wasn't Tori? I mean, you sure?" There's people who said they saw Tori with the gun. You know what I mean? And then boom, get in her ear. And then you know that's how the record labels use you, and that's how they create a narrative that sells. And the narrative they're going for is vulnerable black woman victim being taken advantage of by the black man again. And that's obviously not the case. And clearly she was in her feelings, even though she's supposedly a hottie, she's a pimp. You know what I mean? She's a savage. She was so savage or whatever the case is, but clearly in your feelings. So at the end of the day, people, the court case isn't over. In my mind, it's over, but it's not over. So I'm gonna put this disclaimer out here that hey, maybe there could be a twist in the end, and I could be completely wrong. And if I am, I'll say I'm wrong. But at the end of the day, I don't believe I'm wrong, and I think that everything that's happened is a clear indicator that I don't know, Megan has some explaining to do, and yeah, we need to protect black men for sure. We definitely need to protect black men. I think that this has been a demonstration of how easy it is to destroy a black man and how easy it is with how easy the word of a woman can completely derail a black man's future. And I think that that's a major thing that we have to start acknowledging. We tend to preach believe all women, but women lie sometimes. Women lie. Like that's just a reality. Like men lie, women lie. So to believe all women is really not a proper approach if we're trying to deal in truth and what's right. And if there wasn't a court system and it was just believe all women, where would Tory Lane's situation be right now? Like if he didn't have the money to pay for lawyers that could expose all of this, where would this entire situation be right now? You know, it's clearly it's clearly biased against whatever you want to call it, the system or society or public opinion. It's clearly very biased against the black man, where tend to be seen in a certain light. And one could argue that it's justifiably so. We have a lot of issues that go on within the community that, when viewed from the outside in, I can see how other groups of people might view us a certain way based off of some of the statistics of what's happening within our community. But regardless of that, though, not all of us are part of the negative statistic. Not all of us are, committing crimes, doing violent things. And it's unfortunate that when we work for success, the successful among us have to deal with assault like this all the time. They have to deal with attacks on their character. Someone saying that they did something that they might not have done. And all it takes is a suggestion to ruin your career. I mean, I don't want to get too into it, but there's countless black men whose entire careers have been completely destroyed simply by a woman suggesting that they may have done something. And then years later, we find out that it wasn't true. I mean, one famous example is Emmett Till. A woman completely lied, and he was murdered for that. And we've all seen the picture, of his face completely destroyed because he was murdered, but because a woman lied about him. Years later, before it came out that the woman said that she lied. So we can't believe all women, and we have to protect black men because we are the ones that people are most likely to lie on. Whenever someone's going to lie, they're usually going to lie on a black man because it's the most believable. And unfortunately, it is believable, but it's the most believable. You know, if somebody committed a violent crime, who's who is the person that they're most likely going to believe fits the profile? A black man. If somebody, committed a theft, who are they going to believe it is? A black man. So we have to protect black men, and as black men, we need to protect our brand. We need to protect our image. We have to stop associating ourselves with things that degrade our image and degrade our perception in the world, whether that be certain aspects of the music culture, whether that be certain aspects of fashion, whether that be certain aspects of speech and how we communicate. There's certain aspects in our culture that may not represent our brand in a way that we want to represent our brand. And so we have to get our culture in alignment with the brand that we craft and cultivate for ourselves. Um, for too long, we've been allowing, society, the powers that be, the government, whatever you want to call it, the media, more so the media, actually. Let's focus on the media. We've definitely been allowing the media to dictate what the idea of or the culture of a black man should be. You know, how we should speak, how we should dress, um, what type of industries we should be in, you know, how many times we should have been to jail, what type of crimes we should be doing, and I think that we're at a level now where we have a lot more control over how we present and represent ourselves. And it's time to start crafting the brand, because as long as our brand is associated with all the negative things in the world, it's going to be easy for people to lie on us. It's going to be easy for people to try to throw us under the bus and try to destroy everything that we've built. We've had so many great men that have built so much that have been completely torn down by the word of another, true or false. And I think that we have to get to the point where we can excel beyond that. Owning our brand, owning the things we create, owning our industries, and being in complete control of our brand and our reputation and how we're seen in the world. But that's those have been my thoughts. Leave a comment, subscribe, let me know how you feel below. And until next time, it's been your boy Big Clout, without a doubt. Let's go.